Hey guys, welcome to Her Best Life podcast. I'm Jackie O and this is my bestie Gemma joining me as she does every week.
On the special best friend couch.
I know.
This couch has seen a lot over the years.
Oh babe, it's seen so many tears, so much laughter. When I finally move out of here, I'm going to be so sad to leave this place because it's had so many highs and lows, but mostly highs.
It has had a lot of highs.
Yeah.
Compared to your old house before this, I actually thought about this last night and thought how many lows that house had.
That had only lows. There were no highs except for the high that I was on. Yeah, no, that was no good.
Now, I have a very important question for you.
Yeah.
It was the full moon eclipse in Pisces last night. Did you remember to put your crystals out?
I don't know what's happening to me, Gemma. I didn't manifest. I didn't put the crystals out. I didn't even know it was happening until everyone at work the next day said, oh, it was and I was like, oh my God, how did I miss all this?
I can't believe you missed it.
I've dropped my woo-woo game.
Well, I was committed to the woo-woo and admittedly I got into bed and then I was like, oh shit, it's the full moon. And then I thought,
you're good. Did you do it?
And I thought, get out of bed and do it. So I got out of bed, collected all the crystals.
Where do you keep all your crystals?
Most of mine are in the bedroom area and some in the bathroom, ensuite. I don't have any in the lounge room yet. We'll be progressing to that stage. But I thought, go collect them. So I got them all and I put them out on the balcony off my bedroom.
Yep.
And it was perfect because the moon was right over it. I thought it was a good charging position.
Good charging, yep.
And then I forgot that Scott was flying in late last night. So I then went to sleep. Scott gets home, gets into bed quietly. And then there's this noise and it woke me. It was waking me up a bit and it was waking him up too. And then he was like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know. And then I thought about it and then I remembered that some of my crystals are round. They're like balls, a few of them. And they were rolling around a bit in the wind. And I said, oh, I know what it is. And he's like, what? Because he got up and because he thought one of the doors maybe had been left open.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it's my crystals are outside being charged under the full moon.
Does he know about this as being a thing yet?
Is it like nothing phases him now with me. He's like, whatever. And he goes, okay. And he goes, all right. And he goes, is there anything specific? Is there a chakra involved? Or is it a chakra involved?
Like a chakra, right.
I said, no, it's just overall charging of the crystals for good energy and good luck. And he's like, okay. Didn't even make me feel bad about it. Didn't say anything. And then this morning when I was in bed having a cup of tea and he was getting up and he said, do you want me to bring all the crystals in? I said, oh, that would be amazing.
Oh, God, that's sweet.
So we collected all the crystals and he goes, they feel heavy. He goes, I think they're really charged. He's like, I'm just going to indulge her in it.
Oh, Gemma, do you know how much that actually makes my heart melt? Because I think if you can find a guy who accepts and embraces your woo-woo-ness and doesn't question it and doesn't make you feel stupid, that's a keeper.
I agree.
That's like a big deal.
I agree. Yes. So he was very sweet and he never goes, what? Why are you being stupid?
Yeah.
What for? Like he just goes, that's her and I'm not going to make her feel silly about that. But don't worry, we have had an argument recently, so it's not always perfect. I mean, he's perfect probably 99% of the time.
Can I just, before you get to the argument, do you ever wonder to yourself, like with all the woo-woo stuff we've done, like all manifesting and writing letters and the crystals and the charging and, you know, we've done so much of the woo-woo. Do you ever wonder, or think, if we get to the other side one day and then they go, yeah, no, all that was bullshit. None of that made any difference. You guys, it was all in your head, that stuff.
I know, but then I think that's okay if it's in our head.
Yeah,
Don't you?
I guess. No, I guess so. Because I think almost if you believe it, it is true.
Okay, this is bad to admit because this is probably thinking like a bit obsessively.
Yeah.
But I've now got to the stage where I feel like from doing all of these things, I am in a really happy place. And so now I'm afraid if I don't do the things, I'm going to regress.
Yep.
And that's why I got out of bed last night because I thought, I don't have anything to manifest. I'm so grateful. My life is so full of joy and I feel loved. And I thought, but what if I don't put the crystals out? And this is when
that's when it all starts to go downhill. You're gonna jinx it. You may as well just keep going the way you've been going. You look beautiful today, by the way, Gemma. Very gorgeous.
Thank you so much. That's so
You're
kind.
pretty in yellow. Your hair and everything looks so
I'm
pretty.
allowed to wear colour now?
I think you should definitely always wear colour. Just not really big puff sleeves. But no, I love you. Honestly, we joke about that episode where you wore the big puffy, big sleeve dress. But I love your style because it's you know, and it's feminine and don't ever change. And you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And I love you in yellow.
I appreciate that. Yeah. That's so kind. I'll let that sink in, as we've been taught to say, instead of bobbing off a compliment.
Yeah.
Can I tell you and get your opinion on something that Scott and I have had words over?
Yeah.
It's actually probably been our only proper, we've had little tiffs, as everyone knows, but nothing significant. This is one where I've really stood my ground, and I understand he has stood his ground, but I'd love your opinion.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so my youngest is 10 and he still comes into the bed sometimes. And he always goes to sleep in his room.
Yeah.
But not every night, but I'd say every second or third night, probably third night, he will come in the middle of the night and say that he's scared, and he gets into bed with me. Yep. Now, before Scott came along, it was every night, and it didn't change because of Scott. Sammy started weaning off doing it about 6 months before Scott arrived, and he just naturally started coming in less and less. But it was every night up until he's been 9.
Yeah.
And he then has started doing it again a bit, and we always just get him into the bed and he snuggles in and and then
when Scott's there.
When Scott's there, yeah. And Scott made the comment.
Yeah.
One morning we'd had a couple of nights in a row where Sammy came in.
Yeah.
And we're always he's always been great about it. It's been part of he accepts it and he's been fine. But he did say, admittedly gently, but he said, do you think we maybe need to be a little bit more concerned or be harder?
Yeah, put a bit of a boundary
in place, because he said, I feel like Sammy's going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And he said at some point, maybe we should be saying oh, come on, buddy, go back to bed. Now that it's a few days past the argument, I can see that side.
Yeah.
But when he said it at the time, that was oh my gosh, boy, did Mama Bear come out, protective bear, because I basically couldn't even hear his point of view, because in my head I was thinking, well, he was here before you.
Oh, okay. She did come out all right.
I thought, well, he was here before you and he's little and he's scared, and I can't say no to him if he's scared. And he's so cute and so this conversation happened, and this was before going to bed. He was trying to say to me, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying maybe it would be good to have some boundaries there, because otherwise he's going to be in here with us every night. And I was saying, so what if he's in here with us every night?
Yeah.
He'll eventually stop doing it. And he wasn't being mean about it or anything like that. It was being really lovely. But I just felt so, I took it so personally. I had my back up so much about it, because I think it's the first time anything's been challenged for me to do with the kids since having a new relationship, because I've been single parenting for the last, 4 or 5 years. So first of all, I want your opinion on it, and then I'll tell you where we've landed.
Where you landed.
Yeah.
I think I put myself in your shoes often when I think about getting into a new relationship. And one of the things that I am really adamant about, or have made a promise to myself, is that I never want to make Kitty feel like she's now suddenly getting replaced in any way or feeling rejected in any way because someone new has come along.
Yeah.
And so that's so important to me. But I also know that for your own happiness and the health of a relationship, I can understand where Scott is coming from, because that is going to interfere in a really big way with intimacy and that connectedness and alone time, because when Scott's there, the kids are there a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And so you don't often have that alone time, and he's trying to protect that part of the relationship, rightly so.
Yeah.
But I totally understand you going into that kind of mode, because I can imagine how you would feel like suddenly Sammy's scared in the middle of the night and he's now being told, no, you can't come in here. And I know that would kill you. It would kill me too, to ever make my child feel in any way rejected like that. So I think, Sammy has to come first, but surely there is a way to work around it and compromise where there is maybe a little boundary, but not a proper rejection.
Yeah.
Did you guys get there?
So we went to sleep cranky with each other that night. First time that's ever happened. And I have to say, then during the night, Sammy came in.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So
good timing,
I was
Sammy.
like, oh, God. Yeah. Here we go. So I then said, and I did make, I know this is going to make me sound like a bitch, but I did make a deal about it. I went, come on, Sammy, I'll take you back to your bed and I'll sleep with you.
Oh, no. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So you exited the bed.
So I exited the bed at like 2 a.m. and I went and laid in bed with Sammy and got him back to sleep. And then I stayed there and slept. And then in the morning, Scott came and was like, woke me up, and then I came out and he was like, babe, I don't want to argue with you. Like, this is breaking. I don't want this to happen.
I feel bad for him in that bedroom alone.
I know.
Yeah.
And he said, like, we need to talk about this. Come on. Like, we can't just ignore it. And so I said to him, like, I don't know why, but you've really pushed a button in me. And for some reason, this has really triggered me, because same thing as you just said. I said, I know that I'm going to have to make changes in my life now that you're living or about to move in. But I can't ever deal with the fact that the kids feel scared. And he's like, that's fine. Let's just drop it. He was like, Sammy can keep sleeping with us. Which he's like, I mean it. It's fine. It's fine. But then, of course, I then reflected on it over the last few days. And then I realized that I think it's really, it's funny because there's other things that he's said about the kids, which I want him to parent the kids. Like, I absolutely want him to be on that journey with me. Yeah. So he might say, I don't know, Darcy, can you clean up? Or it's not okay to use that language. Or, okay, guys, it's enough time on this TV. Now we're going to go outside. Like he does. And I'm fine with all of that. There's no part of me that goes, hey, hang on, I'm the parent, not you. I recognize that he's in it with me. But this one thing, it was like I had a complete flip on him about it. And then I realized it's more because it's linked to my childhood, which is when I was a child, the environment that I was in, I felt scared all the time.
Yeah.
And so for me,
that's why it was a massive trigger.
That's the one thing that I'm not willing to compromise on with my kids, is ever having them feel that way.
Yeah.
And once I figured that out, I then explained it to him and I said, it's not about me not wanting to work out solutions with you with the kids. It's that this one issue, I can't deal with them feeling that emotion.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, I understand. And so then we agreed that moving forward, we would effectively, I will try and take Samuel back to bed if he's doing it every night.
Yeah.
If he comes in every third night or whatever, that's okay.
Yep.
But if he's getting back into the rhythm of doing it every night, that I will take him back to bed and try and get him back to sleep.
Yeah.
So that we do still have pockets of time.
That's a good solution. Yeah.
But it was so fascinating how much I didn't even like myself when we went into full, what I would call combat mode. It wasn't, to him, he was lovely.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like, this is absolute, like we are at catastrophic level.
Well, I mean, this is what triggers do to us. And we can heal as much as we can and do all the work, but those triggers will always flare up no matter how much work you've done on yourself, because something like what you went through in your childhood is is such a trigger point for you, of course that's going to flare up, you know, and you're not going to be able to just magically heal all of that.
Yeah.
And it never rear its ugly head. It is going to.
Yeah.
But it catches you by surprise when it does happen.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you obviously went into full, like you say, combative mode about it.
Yeah. And I then reflected and I thought, I don't want to be like this. And I apologized to him. Like, I would never yell or anything. That's not who I am. But I still was cold to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I reflected and then I said, like, that's not fair to you and I don't want to have a relationship with you where when we have a big issue that I shut down and get cold towards you, and I'm really sorry for that. And I explained how I felt, and we've moved past it now, but it was the first really big shaky kind of moment in our relationship.
Which is good because, you know, that's going to happen. Not all relationships are just no fights and smooth sailing. These things do happen.
Yeah.
And you dealt with it in a really healthy way. How does it feel?
I know, right?
Foreign?
I know. And then funnily enough, now since then, Sammy's actually not come into the bed. So I don't know whether whether energetically we did something and now he's like just content in his bed.
Well, I mean, I've been there witnessing the boys around Scott, and it's just so beautiful to see. They curl up in his arms on the couch, and I'm like, oh my God, you've become a beautiful little happy family, and they really love and respect him.
Yeah, they do.
And it's so nice to see that.
Yeah. But I have a real issue with ever saying anything to his daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. I think that's because he spends so much time with the boys and you're in the process of doing that with his daughter soon.
Yeah.
And I think that will change the more time. But, you know, when you're not spending all your time with them, you feel uneasy or you don't feel like it's your place to ever be able to say, okay, let's clean up or, you know, but that will come.
But I've never seen you do it to even my boys. Like, how do you go, when I think of other people's kids, like friends' kids, and say they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing or a bit cheeky, I still find it hard. Because
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm not the parent. That's not my place to say.
Because I want to be like fun and nice.
Yeah, I don't want to be that. Yeah. But I think in a weird way, kids respect it. I've seen them do that with Darcy and Sammy, and they really do respect them. Yeah. And they do listen. Yeah. I just don't know if they'd listen to me because I feel like they'd see me as a pushover. And I feel I'm too late in the game to now suddenly go, okay, boys, clean up. Yeah. They'd just go, what? They'd ignore me.
Okay, guys, it's ad time, so we're just going to have a super quick break here.
So, Gemma, I've been driving this week the Omoda 9 that you have been driving around.
Okay, yes, it's been your turn. How have you found it? It's an amazing, stunning SUV, isn't it?
Yes.
It
actually is very nice to look at. It is. It's a really good design. But we have been talking about how this car is definitely made for... I think a lot of females out there would appreciate this car because you talked about the little scent the button you can press and it releases a fragrance and there's 3 different ones to choose from. Well, something that I noticed this week when I drove it. Yeah. And I think you would have brought this up if you had noticed this. Okay. How's this for being made for women? You know when a truck reverses and it goes beep, beep, beep to warn pedestrians that you're reversing. Yeah. This car makes a sound when you reverse.
Does it?
Yes, to let people know.
I didn't notice that. Well, no, I would have been in the car.
You would have been in the car and you wouldn't have realised.
What sound does it make?
It plays spa music, like calming music. It does. I could have died.
Oh my God, I love it even more
I know.
now.
How cute is that? Like that had me sold, but it does drive really well and I love it. It is such a nice car to drive and we're big fans. So I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, this is another reason why I want one now.
Spa calming music as you reverse.
How awesome. Didn't you love that there's so much storage compartments in the front?
Again,
I love that.
We love that.
Yes,
we've got a lot of stuff to store, us women.
We do. And I just find it really smooth to drive. What about how to turn the car on? There's no turn on button.
No, that I know. That takes I'm like, wait a minute. So I just get in. And then it just goes it's on.
It's like your seatbelt that makes the car just turn on.
I know. We're getting lazier and lazier now, aren't we?
I love that feature.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm so glad you've got to drive it now. Maybe I can have a turn with it again.
You can have it, yep.
The Omoda 9 is absolutely stunning. In fact, I was in traffic yesterday, I'm not even joking, and I saw a car and I was like, oh, that's a really nice car. And then I realised it was an Omoda 9.
Yeah, they are nice looking.
It was a grey one. It was very, very slick. But Omoda 9, make sure you look it up now.
Well, my week has just been like, I'm still trying to learn the piano, Gemma. I got a piano little keyboard. When I say piano, I got a really like cheap Kmart keyboard because I wanted to learn how to play piano. It's so much harder than you'd imagine. So much harder. I honestly thought, I'll be able to play quite a few songs by now. Oh, it just doesn't work. I'm giving up. I'm almost close to giving up.
Don't give up. Keep going. But I have to... I have to say, I mean this with a lot of love because I find what I love about you is that you get into something.
Yeah.
And you're all in.
I'm all in.
And then you're all out.
And then I'm all out. So I feel I may be learning finally from my mistakes because I've decided I'm going to get into making my own pasta.
Oh, shit.
So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that. That sounds fun, right? Make your own pasta. And so before I clicked on to buy the expensive pasta maker, which is what I'd always do, I got one from Big W instead.
Okay.
Because I thought, you know what, maybe I won't stick to this. It's taken me 50 years to realise I don't stick to much.
But you are so resolute when you're into something.
When I'm into it, I then think, you know, like when I took up tennis, for instance, and then I decided to get lessons. In my head, this is how my brain works. In my head, I thought, because I was 47 at the time, I think, I thought, is 47 too late to become a professional player? Like, is it possible that I could become a professional player?
That's how you take it that far.
I don't say those things out loud. But they're thoughts that I have.
It's never too late, by the way.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's one of the things I love is that because you do get into something, it almost brings me along on the journey because I'm probably... Let's call it fads.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
no,
but let's call it that.
Yeah.
I'm probably not a fad person.
I wish I wasn't.
So I get to have my fun of the fads through you.
Yeah. And I buy all the stuff and then you come along for the short ride.
Yes. And I always think, I will admit, when you say something like, oh, I'm doing keyboard, I think, okay, yeah. I wonder how long this one will
My mum says the same thing, except she doesn't think it. She says it. She goes, oh, that won't last.
Because you also were into recently pickleball. What happened to that?
Oh, well, it was a pop-up court around the corner.
So that's gone too? Yep.
That's gone.
What about the bum exercises?
Oh, far out the bum exercises. I decided I was going to get a good ass. It was like, finally, I'm going to get a peachy ass. And I reckon I lasted maybe 4 weeks on that one.
Yeah.
4 weeks, personal trainer, bum trainer.
Yeah.
Purely just the bum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And weren't you learning French?
I did learn French. Yes, thank you, Gemma. I can still remember a line.
Why are you speaking to me in English right now?
Did I put on an English accent?
No, I'm meaning why are you speaking French? If you've learnt French.
I didn't learn much. I reckon, how long did I last at that? Not even the term. Okay, I bought the books and the audio books and that probably lasted 4 weeks as well.
I also thought last week when I went and did the ice baths, because I've maintained those.
Oh, you're maintaining those. See, I pulled out after 6 weeks. Too cold.
But boy, for those 6 weeks, was it all the rage.
And
you were telling everyone about it.
I was going to say, what's annoying about me, I'm that person that will, when I get into it, I tell everyone they should be doing the same thing. And then they do, and then they consistently do it, and I'm out already. Yeah, the ice bath I haven't done for a long time now. It's been at least a year.
And wasn't it last year, or am I getting the years mixed up now, where you decided to get a sewing machine?
I did get a sewing machine. I was going to make
your own clothes.
I thought, sometimes I buy like a Prada skirt and I go, I could do that. I could. in my head, I think I could do that. So I bought a sewing machine. And let me tell you, it's so hard to work a sewing machine.
Have you ever used one before?
No.
Oh.
And I tried it and you just think, oh, you feed, the material through and it just goes through nicely. But you put your foot on the pedal and it's so, like, try keeping it in a straight line. It's so quick. It's all a zigzag. I thought, nah, I'm out. Oh God!
Oh my God!
Oh no! And I said to you the other day, it was another fad. I said to you the other day, can you inquire where you live? There's some ramps there for boats because I'm going to buy a kayak. Can you find out if I can rent one of those spots?
And what did I say back to you?
I think you said. Did you say you were going to borrow it? But you said it's a long wait list and it takes a lot to get a spot there.
It does.
It does take a lot.
And I said, just leave it with me because in my head, I thought,
I'm going to wait for this fad to be outgrown before I go to the effort of applying for the spot, which, by the way, is a rigorous process if anyone's ever tried to get a boat mooring or a boat ramp spot for a kayak. It is not easy.
And by the way, this is not a fancy one. This is like a local little fishing club.
Yeah. It's not fancy at all.
Not fancy at all.
But still, it's hard to get.
Were you doing painting for a little while?
Yes, I did do painting. That was a bit cheeky of me because, again, I would go to art galleries looking for art and it would be 20 grand and I'd think, I can do that. This is my problem. My toxic trait is I think I can do everything the professionals can do.
This is a great thing. The other one that's my personal favourite, this is the one that really gets me, is that you're always the biggest supporter of whatever team is trending on whatever sport.
Oh, yes.
You know how you're like, suddenly you're like a huge Swans supporter when we're doing really well.
That's
and then
funny.
all of a sudden you're a big Matildas fan.
Yes. Oh,
then
my God. And then Conor McGregor, when he was big in UFC, I was suddenly obsessed with Conor McGregor. Yeah. But only if they're trending.
Yes, only if they're trending. If they're not trending, not interested.
Oh, no. I'm the worst. People like me are the worst, not loyal to anything or anyone.
Well, I actually think, or you could say you're the best because you're getting little snippets of everything.
I'm trying everything, for sure. Yeah.
Because then you're knowing what's really worth committing your time to.
Yes, I feel like of all the things I've done, I reckon tennis is the one that I've keep going back to. I do keep going back to that.
Tennis has lasted a few years.
Yeah, that one I'm into. And I really want to learn how to sail a boat next. So I was going to ask you if you wanted to join me on Saturday mornings. It's 6 a.m. though. You have to get out before all the harbour traffic.
This friendship gets tested regularly. Because remember you also did scuba diving, which I was excited about because I've been a diver for like 20 years.
Yep.
And I thought, great, we can go diving together.
Yes.
But that seems to have not really stuck around either.
I've got problems with my ears at the moment. It's so hard to equalise and I've just, that's being ditched.
The things that have stuck around is tennis has lasted a few years.
Yeah.
The thing that's lasted consistently has been astrology and psychics.
You're right, actually. That is the one thing that has stuck around. It hasn't been much of a fad, that one.
No, that's been there for the whole time.
Yeah. So tennis and woo-woo. That's where my heart lies, clearly. Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like my fads, like I'm almost too competitive with my fads. So once I'm in, I'm in.
Then you're in.
Yeah. Then I'm like, oh, now I'm going to do it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah. And that I would love to be like that. I really would, because I do hate that I almost subconsciously know going into something, even though consciously I'm saying, oh, this is it. This is the best thing ever. I've found the most amazing thing. I know deep down this probably won't last based on my pattern of behaviour over the last 50 years, So I wish I could stick those things out for a bit longer.
But you know what, where you and I are very, like, that's one area where we're different. But then I'm the opposite to you when it comes to being flighty. Like, I like to live in different places around the world. Like, I've lived in so many places around the world because I almost get bored.
Yeah, okay, right. So yours is geographical.
Yeah, mine's Yeah. I go, okay, I've done a few years here. Now let's go to the next place.
Are you really hot? Or am I starting menopause? I feel
really what? I feel like every time I come here, and now the one time I'm not, you're having a hot flush.
Oh, God, I feel
can
so
I
hot
say,
here.
I hope you are, because you're very late for menopause.
I know. Although, am I? I'm 50.
Yeah, no.
Because they reckon around 50 to 53 is roughly, like on average. Let's hope that's like a couple of years away still.
Why?
Oh, I don't want to go through all of that. It's such a rigmarole. And then you have to go through on, like, are you going to do HRT?
Fuck, I hadn't even thought of any of this. I'm
like
42.
You have to decide whether you're going to do the hormone replacement therapy. And if you do that, that obviously takes away all the gnarly symptoms. And I don't want those symptoms, like hot flashes, moodiness, dryness. I don't want to be dry. You watch, the chances are I'll get into a relationship, boom, menopause will hit and I'll be dry. Do you know menopause is only one day?
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Who told me that the other day?
Hang on. Are you really sure about this? Should we be putting this out there? How sure are you about this fact?
Well, the person that told me made me realise that it must be true.
Was it Michelle Bridges, our friend?
Yes, because she's just written, it was Michelle, thank you, because she's just written a book about menopause. And perimenopause is what you experience. Menopause is one day and then it's over. Do you want to Google that? Because I would hate to put the misinformation out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grey area.
No, menopause does not last only one day. Okay, I take that back. Oh, okay. Menopause is technically defined as the single day 12 months after your last menstrual period, but the menopausal transition, perimenopause, lasts for years. So yes, that is right. So it technically, they're talking about perimenopause.
Right.
So it's perimenopause, and then the menopause is the last day 12 months after your last period.
Right.
Just read Michelle
Sorry,
Bridges' book, guys.
Just read Michelle's
read
book,
her book.
okay?
She's
She
got all the
knows what she's
information.
talking about. We don't.
We don't.
That's not a fad, by the way. You can't get away from that
No,
one.
you can't. You have to deal with that one head on. Yeah. Yeah.
I was told that I would go through menopause late because I've got polycystic ovaries.
Yeah.
Which for some reason means you're fertile a lot longer in life. Supposedly, I'm sure other women have experienced otherwise. But when I went for the fertility check, when I was going through all the egg freezing that I spoke about previously, they said to me, you need to be like careful. You need to use like protection or whatever you want to use like up until late in life because you're one of the ones that will get pregnant at 48. So just be careful.
Well, lucky you actually want to have a child.
Yes.
That's really handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just means that like I'll be going through menopause and you'll be so far gone from it. I'm wondering how much empathy you'll have left for me by then.
Yeah. Oh, no, at least for once I'm first with experiencing something and then I can teach you about it and help you through it since you do that a lot for me. So I am more than happy to return that favour in 10 years from now or whenever you experience it.
Thank you.
Little tidbit I wanted to share, actually, Gemma, was we were talking about dating and relationships and how in the past, like, and I've been so guilty of this, but when you meet someone, right, let's say you meet someone that you're really interested in and you've been like going out on a few dates and suddenly you're like really interested in them.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people can relate to this. You go through the whole obsessive fantasy in your head, like everything, you're fantasizing constantly about this person. You know, you're thinking about what you guys are going to do in the future and it's the fantasy. And pretty much every semi-relationship, situationship or significant relationship in those early days, I have been always guilty of, you know, driving along wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, I think about that person all the time.
Yeah.
And I go into fantasy land. And I have always associated that with the beautiful part of being into someone, you know, how fun it is to fantasize in your head. And you were saying that when you met Scott, you did not fantasize and it was the first time you yourself had not done this as well.
So I wouldn't be fantasizing about like us going on holidays together or us like, I don't know, going out to dinner together. Like I used to create all of these fantasies in my head. Like
with past partners.
With past partners.
Yeah.
And I noticed that with Scott, I wasn't doing that. And I said to you, it's really weird. I'm not doing it. Like I've never really done it with him. It's not that I don't look forward to doing all those things with him, but I'm not thinking about it all the time.
Yeah,
I'm not making it up in my head.
Yeah, right. That's exactly it. That's the difference, right? You might think about him in your head and think nice things, and maybe you will think like, oh, we could go here, you know, that'd be a nice restaurant for us to go to. Like, it's a sort of tempered excitement and thoughts, but it's not the fantasy and the obsessive loop of fantasy that you can often find yourself in. And so I did a little deep dive on that because I was really interested to understand why, when you met Scott, did you not create that fantasy loop in your head? And I guess it really makes perfect sense. But if you are in that period of obsessive fantasy, I guess that is a really, like, technically a red flag that you should be noticing, because the reason you're in this fantasy land is because they're not making you feel super safe and assured of the relationship. There's some things that you feel you're not quite getting from them. Like maybe you're not getting their full emotional availability. Maybe there's just certain things that you're picking up, you know, like their actions aren't matching their words, even though they might be quite good, but some things, like there's little things where you can't fully lean into it. And because they're not showing you and showing up in the right way, in a really great, healthy way, to fill that void of what you're not getting from them, you're filling that void by fantasizing. Yeah. It's almost like on a subconscious level, a coping mechanism where you're soothing yourself from the parts that you know deep down you're not getting from that person. And it might be in that sense where you feel like, you know, you kind of have to chase their love a little bit. Yeah. And so therefore, because you're feeling like that, you have to sort of chase their love or play it cool. You need to fantasize to fill the gap of what you're not getting from them in real time. And if they're showing up in real time really consistently and really lovingly and healthily, you will not need to fill any void there. You won't need to fill the gap because you're already receiving it in real life. Yeah. And that's what stops you from then having to fantasize obsessively.
Which makes so much sense.
It really does, doesn't it? I've never thought about it before or even clocked it. But it's an interesting, you know, little tidbit for you guys out there.
Well, it's
to
also
just be mindful of if you're in the dating world.
Yeah, and also because in the very beginning, when I wasn't doing it, I thought that was a bad sign. I was like,
you'd be like, maybe something's missing.
I'm not fantasizing about like our future life together all the time, 24 hours a day. Yeah. And I think that's the thing is it's the how often you would think, like obviously during the day I think about Scott, or I might think, maybe we should go on holiday to Europe next year. Like, yes, but I'm not picturing these hugely romantic moments or him like throwing me down on the bed and like trying to create these huge fantasies all the time. Yes. Like all day type situation.
Yes.
I remember I was on a Qantas flight and I was in my situationship, one of them, but the one that probably was the deepest. And I would fantasize about him all the time. Yeah. Like everything, to the point where I'd be like, oh, I mean, this is really bad. I'd be like, maybe I should buy that house because I feel like he would like that house too. And then I'd almost create like fantasies of us living in that house together. Like it's slightly nuts, but it's a coping mechanism. And I was on the flight and I had been sitting there thinking about him. I'd been thinking about him all morning, making up these scenarios. And I sat on the plane and I started reading the Qantas mag. And they had this article that was all about limerence.
Yeah, which is obsessiveness. Yeah.
And I had never heard of the term limerence
This was
before.
in the Qantas magazine?
It was.
How weird.
Yeah. And I started reading it and I was like, limerence? What's limerence? And then I started reading the whole article.
And it was you.
And it was me. And then they were saying like, you know, you'll do this, you'll fantasize, you'll create situations in the future in your head. And if you're thinking of them more than like 3 minutes a day, I'm thinking 3 minutes a day? I'd lucky if there's 3 minutes I'm not thinking about him. And I tell you, I sat on that flight and it was such a shock.
Wow.
Because suddenly I felt like, well, I was also believing in all the twin flame stuff at that point. Remember,
of course, because that's also a self-soothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh my God. And it was so factual, this article. I think it was written by a few psychologists. So there was no getting around it. I couldn't pretend that, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I just remember I sat there and I really thought, fuck, like I've become that person.
Oh,
because
God.
also it says in there, the chances are that if you're thinking like that, in my head, I thought, well, if I'm thinking like this, he's thinking like that too, right? That never occurred to me that he wouldn't be.
And did they
in the
say?
article, it says if you're thinking like that, the other person's not thinking like that.
Oh,
and I
that's
felt
such
like,
a bomb to deal
holy
with.
shit. I remember I pressed my call button and I said, can I have a wine?
You're like, that was too much for you to deal with all in one hit. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. So if you're obsessively thinking of them, the chances are they're not obsessively thinking of you.
Yes, and you know how sometimes when you're
Well, that
obsessively
makes
thinking,
sense. It does.
I used to tell myself, he's probably thinking about me right now too.
But
like
he actually wouldn't.
We're so in sync with each other. Like,
Yeah, because he's my twin flame. Yeah. And twin flames, we think the same.
Yeah.
He's just running at the moment.
Yeah. And the chances are that they're not.
Oh, that's a tough one to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So when you're sitting there at night and you're obsessing over them or thinking about what they're doing or what TV show they might be watching
or even just like you say, planning holidays or choosing an outfit because you think, I'm going to wear this when we go here to dinner and he'll think I'm so beautiful in this.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly obsessing, it is such a red, well, maybe just look at the situation and go, is he not showing up and giving me everything to make me feel safe? Is this why I'm obsessing about having sex with him, having whatever it is, future projecting? Am I doing this because maybe they're not showing up for me in the way that I would like?
Yeah. And limerence, I feel like we should read out what that is because I didn't know what it was. Now, I'm going to assume most people do know what it is, but just in case any of this is resonating with you and you're thinking, what the hell is limerence?
Yep.
Limerence is an involuntary mental and emotional state of intense obsessive infatuation with another person, often fueled by the uncertainty of whether those feelings are reciprocated.
There you go. That's it right there. The uncertainty of whether it is fully reciprocated. Yes.
It involves intrusive thoughts, idealization of the limerence object, the person, and extreme emotional highs and lows depending on perceived signs of reciprocation.
Oh, God.
Limerence differs from love because it prioritizes the fantasy of a relationship over a genuine connection, focusing on how the other person makes you feel rather than the reality of the person themselves.
That
hurts.
That hurts, and it's triggering to hear that because I've been there and I'm listening to that going, thank God I am no longer in that mode. We've all been there. I feel like everyone at some stage has been there.
Can I say that when I watched you go through a situationship with
John.
Yeah, with John.
Yeah, you can say John because he was in the book. Yeah.
Yep. I knew so many things.
Yeah,
in that.
you did.
I did.
You did.
But I knew that you were in limerence because I had been there previously and I was observing it and I was like, it's a textbook of what I went through. Now, when you're in the depths of pain and you're like crying, imagine if your friend goes to you, it's okay, doll. It's just limerence.
You'll be okay. No, you don't want to listen to that. You're like, no, it's way more than that. You don't understand. He's my twin flame. He's just running. And maybe in this lifetime we won't be together, but the next one we will. Oh my God, I hate that period of my life.
Anyway.
So much. And I just am so glad I'm not in it anymore. But, you know, like you say, Gemma, when you kind of meet someone who genuinely shows up for you, you're not in that state anymore. It just completely vanishes and it must feel lovely.
Did we share, because sometimes, because you and I talk every day, all day, I forget what we've said and not said on the podcast. Did we share that how one of the main situationship that I was in has reached out to me now since seeing that I'm really happy?
I don't know if we did. No, I don't think we did.
No, we haven't. Okay. Yeah, because even that we find
Well, I mean, okay,
fascinating.
everything we've just spoken about, this limerence, which is what you had, for so long with someone, and you just, it's painful to experience something like this.
Yeah.
And you would never imagine a day where they come around and give you what you want, right? But this happened to you.
Oh, but you wanted that day.
You wanted
when
that
you were
day.
in it. You wanted that day. And there was nothing keeping he and I apart.
Yeah.
It just was like, ultimately, let's be honest, it's just not what he wanted.
Yeah.
Like, because if he really wanted it, he would have chosen it. Right? And he had ample opportunity to.
Yes.
So I find it so fascinating that then as soon as he has seen that I'm so happy and can see that I'm in a good place, now he's come back round and kind of planted the seed a few times and basically said, like, I miss you, and, trying to plant a seed of doubt there.
These guys are fucking bullshit.
Now,
honestly,
I know.
they do. And this is what they do. They don't give you what you want or need, and they refuse to, but they're happy to keep breadcrumbing you and keeping you on the hook. And then as soon as you move on and genuinely find happiness, they suddenly are like, here I am. Don't forget about me.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Yeah. But by the way, they're still, most of the time, they're still not willing to offer you anything.
Yeah.
They just want to know that you're still there should they want you.
Should they want you.
And I'm not still there because I'm so happy. And now, and I compare the relationship that I have now, I could never have had with that guy. And so it's really quite empowering to then, when he has tried to chip away, to be really clear of like, sorry, I'm really happy I've moved on. Like, I wish you well, but I've moved on. But I also just find the timing, like I always find it's more about them as opposed to you. It's more about them going, oh, now I don't feel needed, and now I can't just get that soothingness from her of like, whenever I did give her a breadcrumb, she'd like respond.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously I'm long past those days now, and it's them. They're reaching out because they want you to make them feel better.
That's so true. You're right, because if he genuinely cared for you in the way Scott does, he would see that you're happy and he wouldn't try and do that to you.
Yeah.
So it is a really selfish move, and it is a self-soothing thing for him. He needs that validation of, but hang on, am I still ultimately, secretly, I'm your number one though, right? Like I'm your first choice. Like if I said to you, I'm here, I want to marry you, you probably would choose me, wouldn't you? Like they just need that.
Yeah.
And the fact that he doesn't kind of take the hint that you are happy and you're really good at reminding him of that is it just proves that he never really cared for you. It was all about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so wild to think 2 years ago, I would have jumped at that.
You would have. It would have been your dream come true.
Thank God.
Remember when we used to go to psychics and you'd always say, so is he going to come get there in the end?
Yeah.
And you would have prayed for that day.
Yeah.
And now you can see it with absolute clarity that he will never give you what you have now. And nor would you ever want that.
No.
No.
No. Anyway, that's some words of wisdom to pass on.
This is, it is. It really is. I love it for you anyway, Gemma. Guys, thank you for joining us this week.
Thanks so much, guys. Now we're going to go and see what Jackie's fad for the day is. What are we doing today?
Well, I wanted to let you try the pasta that I made over the weekend because I was actually really impressed with what I did. It was very good.
I'm up for that. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a great week. Go find your joy.